much the vents have improved the cooling off. What is up, guys? Let me show you guys what I've been wanting for a long time, and it's the Trackspec Motorsports hood vents right here and the fender vents. So obviously the bigger one's gonna go in the middle right here, and then the two sides gonna go right here. Finally gonna take these off. These wrap, but messed up right here, but don't tell nobody. It's kind of messed up, but yeah, if you guys don't know, by the way, Corvettes are a bottom feeder, so air gets sucked through under here and also in here, and it gets pulled up. So we'll see how the temps are and everything after we install this. Alright, so the next step is going to be removing all of these right here. And we're going to have to take this out because we're going to have to cut all the way through here, and there's no point of using this anymore, to be honest. Alright, let me show you guys what I did right here. So I made the center line, so I made some points, as you can see right here and right there, to make sure this is all even. And now on the instructions, it says that we have to measure 13 inches up from the very front, and that's what I've done. And the next step is to tape all around this edge right here. Alright, so as you could tell, I got this all taped up, and I don't know if you could see this, but I'm just gonna cut as close as I can to the edge of this, and this should be able to fit. So I just made sure. Guys, always measure twice and cut once. You can't forget that. So I'm just gonna start right now and start doing this. Alright, this is the first test fit. Let's see. Okay. So I already see where we're running into issues. So for this, it's not going down because we need to make two little slits for these to go through, as well as the back right here, and then we should be good after that. And obviously I'm gonna clean up the edges, because let me just move this. You're gonna have really rough edges, especially in those corners right there, like that and like that. And obviously I'm just gonna use the Dremel again and use these sanders to smoothen out those edges. Alright, and then I just made the marks and it's time to start cutting into them. This will be the second test fit. Let's see. Okay. Almost there. Alright, so it's third time's the charm. It fit in, and I just have to clean up these corners right there, and then the next thing we could do is start drilling these holes and then put the rivets in. One thing when choosing this one, there's this one I cut. It's just a little bit too cut it a little bit too far, but showing a little bit, but honestly I don't think you'd be able to tell unless you watch this video. And I'm not a professional, so this doesn't really bug me. I do care about the aesthetics, but yeah, it's no big deal for me, honestly. But if you want to get it done by someone and you have barely any experience with bodywork just like me, I just advise you to take it to someone else, honestly. Honestly, the longest part was cleaning up these edges right here. That took a cool minute, but right now it's time to drill the holes around. I forgot to press record and I marked these out like that, and I drilled these out already. Alright, so their instructions are not really confusing, but it's written out and really no pictures. So what you're gonna have to do is, the next step is rivet it, and you're gonna have this rivet, and then you're gonna have the metal right in between, and the fiberglass obviously, and then you're gonna have this washer underneath. So the aluminum and the fiberglass is gonna be sandwiched, because if you don't put this underneath, what'll happen is once you rivet it, this nail right here gets pulled up and it creates a bulge. So if there's no washer, what can potentially happen is it can crack the fiberglass and not secure it properly. So I'm gonna do the front first because it has this thing that kind of swings into place. And we're just gonna try to plug it in the hole on the bottom. Alright. And this would be easy if you had a bench. Alright, I just put it on jack. So I'm gonna do after I did that first one, I'm gonna do the corners because they have this thing that swings in and out. And they give you two, and I already made the first mistake, which is using this one, and I was like, oh, how come it's not going all the way through? But oops, you gotta use these longer ones and then line these holes up and then put the washer on the back, and we should be good to go. Alright, so we got it all riveted up. We got this put on, and I had to realign the hood real quick to make sure it put on. It's hitting on this aftermarket air intake right here just a little bit, but it'll be fine, honestly. And I don't know, this is like brand new, so I don't really want to cut it, and it's just extra work that I don't think needs to be done, honestly. But yeah, so we got this put on. We gotta take these off. Sorry for the dog in the background, but we gotta put this and then line everything up. But we're almost there. As you can tell, I'm really dirty, and it's getting dark, but I just gotta keep pushing through. Now we're gonna put this on, and then this says, it's on the instructions, says this part's supposed to be 4 inches right here, and then this is supposed to be about half an inch from these points. And I'm just gonna tape this up, and we should be ready to cut right after. So this is what I did. I made sure to obviously cover this. You saw that. And then what I did was I put both pieces of paper on so I could stand back and look to make sure that, okay, like these are even before I start cutting any holes. And I'm gonna try to cut this one a little bit cleaner than the other one because people, when they walk by, they're obviously gonna be closer to this and see like every little thing. So let's go ahead and cut. It's the next day now. I couldn't finish yesterday because it was getting too late and you know, I didn't want to annoy the neighbors, but this is how far I got. So you guys can see, I'm actually surprised that this part was fiberglass and this is plastic because I thought the whole car was gonna be fiberglass. So when I was cutting this plastic area right here, it just smelled. So make sure if you guys are doing this, I mean, if it's metal, you guys are gonna be okay on your car, but if you guys are doing this on a plastic panel, make sure you guys have a lot of ventilation. And yeah, let's just keep on going. As you guys can tell, I just took that piece off and this is what it looks like in there. This is the wheel well, but I know I should be cutting this, but there's like important stuff right there. So maybe if I just cut like a little slit right here. It doesn't really say an instruction, so it's kind of hard, but let's try to put this first piece on. See if it works. First try? Alright, dang, first try. It fits, but yeah, I gotta see what I'm gonna do right here because I don't know. I mean, I obviously like knew this might happen, but I didn't think there was gonna be anything like important like that. You see that warning sign back there? So yeah, I'll get back to you guys. It does actually say that this step is optional if I wanted to cut this out, and I really don't want to because there's, you know, the headlight wiring is right there, and I'm afraid that once it's going and dirt will, I mean, not really dirt, I'm not worried about dirt, but just the water will go in here. But I'm deciding to because that's the whole purpose of this thing, and it kind of looks tacky with it on there with, you know, no hole. So I mean, it doesn't look that bad from right here, but once you start looking at it from right here, you know, it's just, yeah, I'm not really too happy about it, but I guess it has to be done. And obviously that's the purpose, like I was saying, is to pull out air. And also, not really on this side, but on the other side there's a computer, so this will cool that down even more. And yeah, so I just marked it out. About to start cutting this, and yeah, I still gotta do that side, but let's focus on this side first. Deep breath for me because, like I said, not really too happy about it, but it has to be done. So let's go ahead and do that. Dun dun dun. So this is what it looks like after, and Yeah, I think it'll be alright, honestly, because most of the wheel is going that way. It's only like this much, so not too much water is going to be going this way, so I'm glad about that. Had to be really careful when cutting with the angle grinder right here because there's only like 2 inches of space, especially because I lowered the car, so there's literally like only 2 inches of space between here. But yeah, so this is what it looks like. It looks kind of ugly, to be honest, right now, but let's put this on real quick. Ooh, see, it doesn't look too bad. And it's serving its purpose, so I'm happy about that. The next thing I have to do is, you see all these jaggedy lines right here. It's kind of jaggedy. So all of these, I'm gonna clean that up real quick, and I'm gonna start installing this, so yeah. Alright, so I ran into a bit of a problem on this one. As you can see, this one does not go in. And I don't know, the hood vent fit perfectly fine, but these are just a little too tight. And what I'm gonna have to do is just make these holes a little bit bigger and we should be just fine. Alright, so this is what she looks like after, and yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it, and you can see the tire right there. Sorry, it's a little bit dirty, but yeah. So one thing to know is that this is kind of not right now, but this is bugging me because I'm thinking about what if I change the color. So this is gonna show. So one way to get rid of that is using this and just sanding these down and touching up this with black paint, or I could just paint this black. But that's the one thing, it's just this yellow is gonna show, and I could have cut it like this, like that, but it was hard because I was using the Dremel and this plastic, it was too thick. That's like 1/4 inch plastic right there, and it was bogging out the Dremel. And the angle grinder, it would be really difficult to cut that because it's not as accurate. But time to do that side, and it's gonna be the exact same process as this. So quick tip is I'm about to cut the inner fender of this side. So what I did is I just basically grabbed the plastic, so I don't have to make any measurements. Grab the plastic from that side, and basically it was like this, and then just flip it over onto here. Make sure it's all even towards the end right there. And then I'm just gonna put a tape right here and tape right there, and then I'm just gonna cut this out, and it should be the exact same size as that side. Alright, just like with anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And this, literally, just doing all this took me half the time it took to do that. So, yeah, I just gotta clean up a little bit, like this right here. And these edges, couple here, but dang, it's already starting to look a lot better than that side, to be honest. So, yeah, let me just go ahead and clean this up, and then I'm gonna test fit the other one right here. And voila, this is what she looks like right now. She's obviously dirty, super dirty, so I'm gonna try and give her a wash, but damn, this is crazy. I didn't think it turned out this good. I was kind of sketched out at first, but yeah, it turned out pretty good. There's one mistake I did, and that's I cut a little bit too far right there. This one's not too bad, you can barely see it, but this one, it's pretty bad. And that's because these lines right here on the side profile, it's shaped like this, and I slid it out that way, and there's like no way for me to get this part right here unless I cut it like that far out. So yeah, that's one mistake I did. So if you guys get this exact hood, you guys know what to do, because you know, just learn from my mistakes. And yeah, and in the future I'm just gonna clean these up with the way I showed you guys earlier, because this side turned out pretty good. You could barely even see the yellow, so I really like that. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get a piece of black vinyl. All right, that took way longer than it should have, but there it is. Now it's covered, and you can't even really tell, to be honest, unless you watch this video, especially if you're from far back. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I know it's kind of tacky, but I'm alright with it. It looks like it's part, because there's like this metal piece right here that hangs off too, so it looks like a piece of that, so that's not too bad. Alright, so here we are a couple days later. I wanted to wash this, but it's been raining pretty hard for the past 2 days, so didn't get a chance to do that. And I also wanted to record some b-roll, but here's a quick look real quick on the sun. So I'm just gonna wash this, dust her off basically, and yeah, we should be able to film some b-roll. And I'm gonna show you guys how much water gets in here. I don't think it's gonna be a problem driving in the rain, because all the water's gonna be going this way or whatever, but I feel like it'll actually be more like detrimental to the car if you leave it in the rain, instead of like you get caught in the rain and you drive straight home. But if you leave it parked out somewhere, or you know, if you leave it parked outside, maybe a lot of water can go in. So I'm just gonna wash this up real quick, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so I just washed down the car, and it's kind of dirty and dusty in here because I didn't wash it yet, but that's how wet it is. I just barely wiped it down, so it's not too wet, but obviously it's still gonna get wet. And I guess one thing when installing this is you're gonna have to keep your engine bay clean, because when you look at it from this angle, if it's dirty and dusty, people are gonna be able to see it. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and I'm just gonna finish wiping the rest of this down. Alright, this is a good time to show you guys how much the vents have improved the cooling on this car. So usually the coolant temperature is at about 230, and I've driven this car for over an hour right now, so yeah, it's a big difference. And the trans fluid is usually above 200, and right now it's at 183. And I know it's not a fair test because I'm not pushing the car really hard, but yeah, it's cooled down like around 15 degrees on both sides. So I really like these, and obviously it's aesthetics, and it's gonna make the car perform better overall. Alright, so closing thoughts. So what do I think about this product? I think this product is amazing. I really like it, not only for the appearance but the performance. As you guys can see, the temperature has gone down in the transmission department as well as the coolant department, so I'm really happy about that, and I can't wait to take it to the track and actually start pushing this car. And I just want to see, you know, how much cooler it gets, I guess. Yeah, I'm really happy about it. The only downside is cutting the fender wheels, but now that I look back at it, I'm actually not that like worried about it. Or yeah, because I don't really drive it in the rain at all. The only time I do drive it in the rain is if I get caught in the rain, and that's very rare. But for the most part, I always check the weather, but you know, you never know. Sometimes you're just driving and it's cloudy, next thing you know it starts sprinkling or whatever. But yeah, it's not too actually that bad. When the car is moving, the only problem is if the car is sitting, that's when the rain starts to collect, and maybe in areas in the engine that you don't really want it to collect. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is like a different format than the other one. This is like a much more simply edited one. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. If you guys do, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.